Hey, Mr. Guterres, I hope you don't mind when I say there are certain kind of human beings who laugh and who enjoy any kind of torture they are able to do so. Let me explain some of their military torturing software programs which they commit already since those Nazi rats place a microscopic brain chip inside my neck. Actually, I don't really know when that RFID or microscopic brain chip were placed inside my body. Because that thing were placed secretly inside my body. And this computer chip were connected to a computer machine which were running by the German government. First they inject, however they succeed, to place that mine inside the body. But then, after that were placed inside the body, they dial the chip identity and build up a wireless connection to the embedded chip. And that chip made it possible that those Computernazis climb up in the central nerve system and also reaching all kind of human brain cells, and then they isolate the brain cell structure and they make it accessible, the brain cell region. Yes? You can follow me? In 1996, for instance, let me explain some of their torturing programs which they already executed. In 1996, that time they had already access to my listening cells. You know what that means, listening cells. They talking through a microphone and know precisely, you hear each word which they are saying inside your head. Yes? They prepare that acoustic terror inside my head in the year of 1993. And one of the torturing software programs was in 1996. He stimulated ugly poison inside my smelling cells. I really was scared because it was ugly, disgusting taste. You know, it smells like chemicals or something. And at the same time, that Nazi sent that date material inside my smelling cells. He talks through his headset microphone inside my listening cells. And he said, when you smell something like that, escape is possible away from here. You know? Another structure is the dreaming cells. They isolate the dreaming cells. Perhaps they hit through the dreaming cells by reading natural dreams, you know, and since then they isolate the dreaming cells. And since November 1987, remember that time, yes? They send videos, they self-programmed inside the dreaming cells in the middle of the night and scare you out of the deep sleep. They are the one who decide at what time they send the video inside the dreaming cells. You know? That first video, there was a woman dressed in a white dress, totally white, and on her stomach was a big red corner. It looks like that somebody hit her with a knife or something. And that was about 3 o'clock in the morning. I wake up and I was scared that something happened to her, you know? So those Nazis love to produce program movies and send the movies inside the dreaming cells, you know? And let me tell you some more movies. One kind of movie is just raping your dreaming cells. You just see the movie, nothing else. But the other one, they enjoy torturing like that. Those fucking German military Nazis. You know, virtual reality. They place your dreaming cells into virtual reality and then they stimulate that movie. So you are in that movie. And then, you know, one movie. I was sitting on a surfboard up in the sky. You know, placed up in the sky, sitting on a surfboard. Huh? And they show the ground. And I didn't have any kind of parallel. And the ground is coming closer and closer and closer and closer. and you know precisely that you're going to smash down on the ground. Yes? Torturing movies like that. That fucking Boris Pistorius Computernazi crew. Of course, that time was not Boris Pistorius, head of those Nazis. Huh? No, it was a Christian Nazi, Frickerühe, you know, a satanic Nazi. And also, when they placed the first video inside the dreaming cells, that was under the time of Manfred Wörner. That was in 1987. Huh? And then the next region, actually the sleeping cells. You know? I was working full-time as repairing mechanic. And that time, it was 1991. I was working on a facility that win electricity through water power. You know? And I wake up 6 o'clock in the morning. I had my breakfast. Then I left 6:30 my flat, which I hired for the time I was working there, and went on a bicycle and drove about 4 or 5 kilometers to my working place. And 7 o'clock I start working. You know? I did some welding on the skin of the generator at that time. And then about 10 o'clock in the morning, suddenly I started getting tired. And I don't have any kind of resistance physically against that getting tired. You know? And it took between 10 and 15 minutes. I was working I was sleeping in deep sleep at my working place. In the morning, you know? And that Nazis are able to stimulate me into deep sleep from their fucking computer machine? Yes, it seems like that. And then, during the time I was sleeping at my working place, they sent again a movie inside my dreaming cells. And that movie was also kind of virtual reality movie. Yes, that type. And I saw a bed, a children's bed, or something like that. A baby, which were inside the bed. The bed got some red stripes. And I only saw the baby in the bed and 2 hands. And the 2 hands were moving to the bed of the child and grabbed the pillow out of the bed and pressed the pillow on the baby, and the baby getting sticked. You know? They love torturing like that. And then I wake up. Yes, I saw somebody killed a baby. I wake up. I had tears in my eyes. Also, days and weeks later, all the time when I thought about that Nazi movie, which a Nazi programmed and a Nazi stimulate and put me into deep sleep to send me an image like that or video like that, Why you didn't do that in the fucking night time? Like he used to torture with movies inside the dreaming cells? No, he did that in the morning. Huh? Yes. Later on, I went to the police. I asked the police and the prosecutor to help me to go against that Computernazi stuff. Wherever they place, wherever they sit, from wherever they stimulate and send these pictures inside the head. You know? Another torturing movie. Yes? Suddenly, also in the night, also virtual reality movie type. You know? You find yourself and some images show you are actually in Copenhagen, in Denmark. And then an earthquake happened. All the buildings, and you are in a house, in a chamber, down in a house, and then that earthquake starting, and all that stones coming down and threaten you to hit your body. You just see the stone falling on your body, you know, like a real earthquake. They love torturing like that. Another one. I don't know how many times. This is a long-term torturing movie. A long-term torturing movie. You know, I don't know, was it 10 times or 20 times? So often they place the same movie inside the dreaming cells. Also, every time virtual reality. That fucking military Nazis. You know, you are on an island, and on both sides is water flowing down. You know, and the water level, you see the water is pushing, is shooting down, real speed, real power. And you notice, when you get inside the water, it going through your way. Yes, heavy flooding, like a river or something, you know. And the water is rising. The level of the water is going up, is going up, is going up, and threaten you to push you away from both sides, because you stand in the middle on an island, and the water level is rising. So you can't escape nowhere. There's no escape. So the water going to push you away. Yes, I love torturing like that. And this was a long-term torture film. They enjoy doing things like that. That movie, I don't know, 20 or 30 times it happened. Always the same movie. But let me explain you some other things they did. You know, like I said, in 1991 I went to the police. I tried to get some government support to find out who the Nazis are, who stimulate me into deep sleep. You know, I didn't get any kind of help. You know, and in 1993, the dirty rotten Nazi, he organized more heavy torture. Yes. He used another virtual reality movie inside the dreaming cells in 1993, in the spring. You know, the movie starts like that. It starts just like that. I sit together with my son on my knees under a railway bridge. And then a train is coming. And the train It's getting louder, louder and louder, the volume. Yes, the volume of the train. Getting louder and louder. So I took my hands and protect the ears of my son. And the train is still getting louder and louder and louder and louder. And it will start getting painful for me. I don't know how many decibel it was that time. But I couldn't stand it anymore. So I took the head of my son, pressed the ears between my knees to protect my own ears. And the train was still getting louder and louder and louder. And then the pain started, really. Then the torturing movie was finished. So they also use the image of my son Manuel in that torturing movie. Because it was my son Manuel at that time. It was in 1993. I didn't know why they did that. I didn't know that time. But then, in 1993, I made a vacation. I went to 2 different embassies. One was Turkey, the other one was Syria. I got a visum and I made a vacation, a trip. The time it was a divorce case ongoing with my children, with my wife, And when I was in Adana, I met some people who were inviting me. I was traveling with sleeping bag, with a tent, and a family invited me to stay at their place, which I was grateful. As I say, thank you. So I was welcome at home by those people. And I travel around from that place in Turkey, a few months. And always when I come back to that place, I had a place where I was welcome, take shower, or clean my clothes, and going on the next trip. This was my vacation in Turkey, And one night, one evening, I was alone in a room, had a door open because it was very hot, so I let some fresh air in. And then suddenly I was listening to a voice who speak inside my listening cells, or inside my head. Listening cells, I didn't know anything about it, But he were talking inside my head. And you know what he said? In American language, a man. He used American language. He said, close that door. I should close that door? Who's talking inside my head? So don't forget the experience since 1987. They torture inside my dreaming cells. Yes. Then they also stimulate me into deep sleep. And 2 years later, after that fucking dream with the railway, that was a reason that they can have access to the listening cells and talk inside the head. That was a reason why they torture me with that railway train. They programmed They found out in what kind of frequency they can terrorize inside your listening cells. And in 1993 in Adana was the first one, American soldier or American Secret Service, I don't know, but it was American language, close the door. And I react to his words. I speak to myself. I spoke to myself. Perhaps he was listening, spying inside the head, talking inside the head. And I say, sorry, I don't take any kind of military order. What you got to do inside my head? And you know what happened 2 days or 3 days later? At the same place where the talking were ongoing, they torture me again inside the dreaming cells. Also the type of virtual reality. You know? I found when that movie started, I was sitting on the ground, a poor chamber, no painting, no carpets, no window, chamber, you know. I was sitting on the ground, and I noticed I was sad or depressed or unhappy, I don't know, but that was my feeling that time. But that was not my original feeling, you know. That was their manipulation inside the dreaming cells. Yes, I had a nice time in Turkey. I didn't was depressed or something. Yes. And then I found myself depressed, unhappy, and in front of me I saw a revolver. Just in front of me. I grabbed the revolver, pointed at my chest, and shoot me twice in my chest. I commit suicide. You know, this Computernazis from Germany. You know what I wish them, Mr. Guterres? And all the dirty Nazi politicians from Germany who make that possible, even if they can use American patented software or whatever, you know. I wish those Nazis, Nuremberg, the second one, yes, you definitely don't underestimate that. You as a victim, you live in a concentration camp, and they kill your memory, they kill your thinking cells, you know, and they also have other physically torturing programs. They have access to your asshole. They creep inside your asshole, stimulate your muscles. Yes, they send your asshole muscles under electricity. You can't use the toilet anymore. And they keep that locked. They keep that really locked. After one day, you have pain in your stomach. Everything is swollen, you know. And you can't drink anymore. You don't eat anymore. And you can't go use the toilet. You have pressure everywhere, but you are unable to press it out. You know, the stimulation of the muscles is stronger. Yes? And on the third day, you go down on the ground. You have tears in your eyes, because every move of your body is creating pain. You can't move your body anymore. You have pain, lay down on the ground, you know, and then the stomach liquid is pressing up. Huh? Yes, can you imagine that? They press, locking your asshole for good until the stomach liquid's coming up. That Pistorius Computernazi team, they did that, you know, and they love things like that. So, you know, I wish the German government, Nuremberg, the second one, has, and for me, from my experience with that rotten military Nazi crew, I wish the computer Nazis who did all those secret war crimes, I wish them death sentence. Sorry, Mr. Guterres. I'm human.